at it. I'll give you my perspective. So I like things that help Hex and PulseChain and PulseX, the blue chips. And I've talked about this before. I did videos on all this stuff. So I'm going to try to be more specific when I answer your question, but I like ecosystem projects that do that help the ecosystem. They're obvious for onboarding, obvious utility, or whatever. It gets messy though. There's some projects that are like, okay, this is good. This is a good idea. And then I don't know, like it's kind of like I don't want to. I'm trying to not be specific on purpose because I don't want to I don't ad hominem. I don't want to talk about the projects or stuff like that outside of the facts. But yeah, it gets easy to stray sometimes from the message and from the mission, stuff like that. So as an RHMaxi, I'm a maxi for his ideas. I like Richard's ideas. I think he's a force for good in the world. I myself and many other people want to be forces for good in the world. We like to do that stuff. And do you think there's anything wrong going to the project to grow your own bag? I think that can be a fallacy. I'll say that. I think it can be kind of like, they say slippery slope is a fallacy. I think slippery slope can be a fallacy, but most of the time it's not. Like it's actually based on, that there's all videos and stuff on this stuff, mental models and different things. So I think the idea that, I'm going to go invest in, let's just say meme coin, for example, and it's going to go do a 10,000x, and then I'm going to go take that and buy Hex. It's like, well, now you've signed yourself up for promoting that, not talking about Hex and stuff because you want to grow that bag. All that, again, picking up pennies in front of this type of deal, and you make it a zero and you lose everything. So what your plan may have been wholesome from the start, or maybe just tricked yourself into doing that type of thing. I got to watch myself on this stuff sometimes too, chasing shiny objects. It's one of those things that it could go wrong and has went wrong poorly for many people over time. So it starts off as this perhaps good idea, and then doesn't always work out that way. So anyways, do I think it's wrong to go another project to grow RH bag? I don't think so. Like I've talked about other projects and I've had the founders on and stuff like that that I think can help grow together. And if those projects go up and we all win, that's fine. Like that's good. As long as they help the ecosystem. What I don't like is going into projects outside the ecosystem, or projects that are obviously just a zero-sum game that have no influence other than just, let's just say, oh, we hope other people come in the ecosystem because they'll see this thing and they'll see other things. I think those dots are very hard to connect. I think there's many other projects where the dots are easy to connect, where this is obviously good for the PulseChain network and for Hex and everything else, like derivatives, like liquid loans and all this stuff, locking up stuff. So I don't think it's wrong to talk about it. For me, I try to be careful that I'm not taking away from Hex PulseChain. I think that's maybe the key that I try to do is I avoid taking away from them. Like whatever I'm talking about, I'm trying to make sure there's an angle that either helps promote or helps lock up value or helps onboard people with that product to the blue chips. And it's hard to do. And you have to be, if you want to do it, you don't have to do it, but if you want to do it, you have to be very deliberate and very principled approach, which is what I try to bring to the table too. Of like, this is what I'm going to talk about. It's my thing. I have these principles I've talked about a million times, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm RHMaxi for his ideals, not only his products. I like ecosystem products that help those coins, and I'm here to win. And I think the least risky, most ROI way to win is PulseChain, Hex, and all those, and a few of the projects that I like around them that help them grow. So, was that how do you make you maxi? I don't know. I don't even think it's important to distinguish that hard on what a maxi is, honestly. If somebody told me I wasn't a real maxi or something because I like products other than the blue chips, I'd be like, I'm not that kind of maxi then. I'm the maxi for his ideals. So, and his ideals, his products go in line from it, but they're a subset from his ideals. I talk about longevity. I love that stuff. That's one of Richard's ideals that he likes. I talk about tons of other stuff, Scivive, all this stuff. So I'm Maxi for his ideals. So if you hear RHMaxi and you think you must only love Hex, PulseChain, and PulseX, and maybe Ink, then I'm not that Maxi, I guess. I think there's different flavors, and that's fine. So I don't think like fitting people into a box of like this particular thing. There's obviously a line, right? Like if you call yourself RHMaxi, but you barely talk about Hex or PulseChain or any products that help it, then you have that conversation. But I just don't think it's that useful. I think if you're putting in the work to promote the products, you're doing a good job, and you're being the best Hexan you can be if you're a Hexan. I think that's enough.